Welcome back to Arts and Crafts with Luba Carlson. In this episode, we are going to work on something I call bloom where you're planted. It sometimes is hard in our lives to take time to bloom, to take time to appreciate everything that's going around us, because we're so busy, we're running around. And I feel like having a little bit of an art journal where we can take the time and create something cute and maybe pretty, and take the time to actually create this positive mindset around everything that's happening, it gives us a very nice mental break, and it allows us to rest, and it also allows us to reset our creativity. And of course, there's a lot of benefits to being creative in life. So for this episode, I will be using my watercolors, my water pens, just like I did before, and the rag to clean my water pens. I have some black pens here, they're like artist markers, and I have a Sharpie, and I have a black gel pen, and I also have a little assortment of some gel pens that I think I might want to use when I'm getting there. So we are going to start with making a little bit of a garden on this page, and I'm going to start with making the sky. And for the sky, I am going to still be working. I'm going to be working with my biggest size of my water brush, which is probably size 8, like round 8. And for the sky, I really do not want to have a whole lot of super dark color. I really want it to be very whimsy and very light colored, very light blue. So I am going to start by just dripping some water. If you're using your regular brush, you can just grab some water and spread some water just directly on your paper, just on the top where the sky would be. I have to work very, very fast because it's real warm here and I do not want this to dry out. So I'm just gonna be lightly adding a little bit of Prussian blue into this. And if I'm noticing that it's starting to dry out, I'm gonna add just a few more drops of water, go back, and just very carefully just spread all of this color. I am leaving some white spaces intentionally to look like clouds, but I also need to be very, very careful in this journal because this is not watercolor paper. This is cardstock. This is regular white cardstock. And so it starts piling super, super fast. That doesn't give me a whole lot of time to work, which is good because otherwise I'd be sitting here for an hour just painting the sky. Now I'm holding it this way up to allow the water to kind of drip down a little bit so that it's a little bit more natural looking. Okay, and I'm just gonna stop it right here, and that is good. Now I'm going to add my flowers. I'm gonna put my flowers somewhere in the lower 2/3. And I'm gonna try and make sure that all my flowers are in different heights. Okay, so that it's not just a row of flowers, but there's gonna be some variation. I'm gonna start with basic shapes for my flowers. Let's start maybe with, let's just go for red. Why not, right? Why not? Same brush, and I wanna have some water on here. And I think I'm gonna create a flower. I'm just going to start with the basic shape, okay? And then you'll see what's happening. Let's do this for one. Doesn't need to be perfect. And I'm adding a little bit more red. Okay. And then I'm gonna clean it just a little. I'm squeezing out just a little bit of the color, and I'm gonna add some, like kind of same color, but a little bit lighter and a smaller shape lower on the other side to kind of help balance it all out. Clean that. I want to have a very tall flower with like lots of blooms on it. So I'm gonna go all the way up here and I'm gonna start putting some, see, they're just really blobs of paint. And I'm just gonna shape it as a little cone going up. Just adding a little bit here and there. And then I'm gonna add a little bit on this side. And I know it's kind of looking weird right now, but it's all gonna work together, trust me. Okay, let's grab a little bit of apricot. And I'm gonna add a shape. I'm gonna start, it's like a letter U, right? And that immediately makes you think about tulips. So we can do that. And just paint it in. Should we balance it with something like that? Probably. We need to make sure they're not on the same height though. You know what, I'm gonna make it, let's do it that it's still closed. It's ready to bloom, but it's not there yet. There. That's a good shape. Okay, I want more flowers. What should we do? Lots of choices, right? How about the purple? Let's get into that. And I'm just making little shapes. Yeah, maybe one. Should we add one right here? Why not? Totally can. So we're just making basic shapes for the flowers that we're going to use. Let's see, I want something here. And maybe we'll balance it over there. Which color should we use? All the choices, right? Let's do some blush pink. Oh, so pretty. So maybe here. Just a random, just something random. And here. Okay, while the flowers are drying, we're going to add some stems to them, which is going to be green. You know what? I am going to change the size of my brush for stems. I'm going to go with my smallest one, which would be size 2 in round brush. Do you have to do this? No. Absolutely do what feels good and right for you. Always change colors the way it works for you. I'm gonna start with this one and just put a little, just kind of adding stems. Painting directly from the pen, not mixing anything, not complicating things. Make it simple, yeah? And then let's add, oh, there is the drip. I don't want a drip. That's gonna be another. And maybe, here we go. This one's going to be all together. And then I want to add, kind of make these come together. Yep. Okay, this puppy needs a stem right here. And okay, and so now I'm ready to connect all of these. So I'm going to start from the bottom for this one to just kind of make sure that I'm landing where I want to land. But then just kind of random connections to help it look like it's all together, right? I don't even know what kind of flower that is. I just like it. Okay, cleaning my brush. Closing this one. Excuse me. Okay. I did lose my voice again. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we want to add, I want to add some leaves to my flowers, but I want them to be a little bit of a different shade. And usually people would use just the back of your tin that comes with your watercolors to mix your colors. Now I have this thing, which is a cover from cherries, I guess, from somewhere. It's like a produce box cover, but it is perfect for mixing colors on the go. Super easy, super fast. And I know I didn't tell you we were going to mix colors. I apologize. So we're going to start with this olive green and just kind of mix it in. Now I'm going to clean my brush. And then I'm going to grab some of this beautiful lemon yellow and just mix it in. It kind of makes our olive green lighter a little bit. And like as you're adding colors, and my brush ran out of color, which is fine. I'll just switch to the number 4. And as we're adding colors, the more yellow you add to this, the lighter it becomes. It becomes more like bright greenery in the spring. Okay. So let's see. All of them should have kind of different leaves, but kind of maybe the same a little bit. So this one, I'm going to start light, and then I press my brush in and let go. And then again, start light, press, and let go. And then I'm going to find this other tulip. You know what? I'm going to switch back to my big brush, even though it doesn't have water. It's still a bigger size. And press. And again. So that worked well. These poppies are going to have little leaves like this. You just pretty much go with anything and everything that works for you. Okay, and then you find that same one. There you go. And he gets the same kind of leaves. Now I'm going to jump back to my tiny, tiny brush, the number 2. And I'm going to add, oh, that needs to be a little bit darker. There. Just wispy something. Just keep adding your little leaves. There we go. Okay. Who else? Who else here? What do we need? We need more leaves for these two. So let's do that. Okay, so these are gonna get like a line, and then you make kind of ovals on each side. A long oval on the top, and then add two on the sides. And this one will get just one. There, something like that. Okay. I'm jumping back to my number 4, cleaning it, make sure that it's clean. And I'm gonna start grabbing a little bit more of the blue. And I'm gonna start adding the sky behind the flowers. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be there, you know? Just something light. Just add more water to it if it's too dark. Maybe you like it that way. Maybe it works for you that it's a little bit too dark. Maybe it's good. Just go down. Like, you don't really need to cover every single white space. Just kind of show where the sky is, okay? Now I'm gonna grab, again, some of this Prussian blue, and I'm gonna add it to the green that we have right here. I'm gonna use this color to paint little blades of grass, just going up. It's just a flicker of the brush. You start on the bottom and you flick, just like that. And you change directions. The more you change directions, the more natural it'll look. There we go. Okay, clean the brush. And now the fun part. So next you can either switch, oh no, I dropped some green on my yellow marker. Okay, so next you can either switch to your black markers or your colors. It's absolutely up to you what's happening there. I'm gonna pull them up a little bit closer. I'm gonna do black. I'm gonna start with black and then see what happens, okay? So this one is supposed to be a rose. So I'm gonna give it a swirl right on the middle like that. And then I'm just gonna go around and start adding. See, they're like super loose, very loose petals. And just stop there and then add another layer. Okay, and when you have that, you can go either from the top of the petal or the bottom, but you need to be consistent. Decide what you want to do. I like to go from the top, and I just add a little bit of shading to the flowers. You can spend as much or as little time doing this as you like. Okay, I'm gonna do the center a little bit one more time so that it just stands out. And then I'm gonna go back to this little rose and do the same thing. Give it the center. And then Give it little petals. As I'm moving, I'm shaking. This was a very exaggerated, but you can see what I mean. I'm shaking the pen, kind of my hand a little bit, to get jagged ends for my petals so that they look different. That's pretty easy to do, right? Okay, now once this is dry, once your pen is dry and ink is dry, you can go on the outside of each petal and just kind of give it a little bit more definition. I wouldn't go on the sides of the petal. I just want the top. See, it kind of brings it up a little bit more. Something like that. And then we can do that same here. Okay. All right, now let's look at our tulip. The tulip needs something. So let's maybe give them something to hold it. So I'm just gonna start with this. It doesn't need to be botanically correct. It doesn't matter really. And then we're gonna add the petals. Now this is going here, maybe here. And then there's a couple in the center. And we have ourselves a tulip. And we can add shadings as we please. Okay, now this one is still closed, so it doesn't really have as big of a base. And usually you can only see like a couple of petals, just like that. So that goes. Okay, now let's move on to this one. It's like, okay, what's going on with that? Here's what we're doing. We're gonna outline them, okay? And then maybe add a thing in the middle to show the petal curving. So here we go, and the petal is curving. And here's a curving. Curve them in. Don't worry about making all the shapes perfect. Not every petal needs to be curving in. Like this one looks like two petals together. That's what I did here. This one I'm gonna break down also. This one's gonna be just one, and it looks like it has a center in it, so I'm just gonna add that. Don't be afraid to add things as they come. There we go. And here's the other one. Oh, this one looks like it has a whole lot of petals coming. And here, then there's one here. And they are flowers. Maybe here something. Okay, what are we gonna do with the purple one? Let's give him a center. And then let's just add petals right around. Just go around and get a little bit outside of that purple color, just a little bit. And just keep going around, just like that. Okay. Oh, we have these two. What are we gonna do with those? How about we start? Oh, I know. Okay, here's what you're gonna do. We are going to do. We're gonna turn them into something like a peony, but they're too small. So you start with a smile. Okay, and you kind of make lips like that. Then you go around You do that again, and around. They're not really lips, but they kind of make me think of lips. And then you fill in, just like that. Just fill in the spots. Okay? And then in the center, we're just gonna make some seeds. Just like that. Okay, where's the other one? Right here. Smile, and then a little bit of a petal, and then up, and around, and just fill in. Once you get the hang of this, just painting little shapes and filling them in with flowers like this, it is very relaxing, really. All right, let's do little broken lines for the stems. And leaves so that they're not completely lost. They have a little bit of color in them. Oh, hello, I lost one daisy. Hello, Daisy. There we go. And then here. You can be as loose or as controlled as you like. And all of this was about blooming in your garden, blooming where you planted. So I really like writing on stems. So I'm just gonna turn it here, and I'm gonna use this rose right here, or peony, or whatever it was. I don't even remember. And I'm just gonna write the word bloom right on there. All right. And of course, as with everything else, you can add a journaling entry up on the top, and you can add as many details to this as you want to. I am very excited to see you in the next season, in the next episode, and see what we're gonna make next time.